Is there a perfect plan to achieve financial peace of mind? There is something deeply human about the desire to solve uncertainty through planning. The spreadsheet becomes a crystal ball, the budget a blueprint for the future, the financial plan a map to guaranteed security. The mind believes that if it can just calculate enough variables, consider enough scenarios, prepare for enough contingencies, then peace will emerge from the mathematics. But observe what happens when someone creates what appears to be the perfect financial plan. A woman spends months crafting her comprehensive financial strategy. She calculates emergency funds down to the exact month of expenses, projects retirement needs with precision, diversifies investments across multiple asset classes, purchases insurance for every conceivable risk. The plan is thorough, logical, beautifully organized in color-coded charts and detailed projections. Yet as she implements this perfect plan, something unexpected occurs. Instead of the promised peace of mind, there is a subtle increase in anxiety. Each deviation from the projected path, an unexpected expense, a market downturn, a change in income, feels like a personal failure. The plan that was meant to provide security becomes a source of stress. This is the peculiar nature of perfectionist planning. The more detailed the plan, the more opportunities for reality to diverge from projection. The financial planning industry has created an entire mythology around the perfect plan. Software programs that can model thousands of scenarios, advisors who promise to optimize every aspect of financial life, systems that claim to eliminate all uncertainty through proper preparation. But life operates with a different logic than spreadsheets. The plan assumes linear progression, but life unfolds in cycles, spirals, and unexpected turns. The plan projects static circumstances, but health changes, careers shift, relationships evolve, economic conditions fluctuate. The plan calculates based on past performance, but the future remains fundamentally unknowable. This is not an argument against planning. This is an observation about the relationship between planning and peace of mind. Watch what happens when someone encounters a major life change that wasn't in their perfect plan. A serious illness, a job loss, a divorce, a global pandemic. The carefully constructed financial architecture suddenly seems inadequate. The person who felt secure because they had planned for everything discovers they had planned for everything except what actually happened. In that moment of plan failure, something interesting can occur. Either there is panic because the security system has failed, or there is a recognition that security never really came from the plan in the first place. The mind that seeks the perfect plan is the same mind that believes it can control the future through sufficient preparation. But the future, like weather patterns or stock markets, follows its own unpredictable rhythms. The attempt to create perfect security through planning is like trying to predict exactly where lightning will strike. Yet, there are people who plan loosely and feel deeply secure. They prepare for general possibilities without becoming attached to specific outcomes. They build flexibility into their strategies rather than trying to eliminate all uncertainty. They understand that the best plan is often the one that can adapt when reality changes course. The difference lies not in the sophistication of the plan, but in the consciousness that creates it. What if the perfect plan is not a destination, but a process? Not a fixed blueprint, but a dynamic response to changing circumstances. Consider how nature plans for the future. Trees don't know exactly what weather they will face, so they develop strong roots, flexible branches, the ability to shed leaves when necessary, and grow new ones when conditions improve. There is preparation without attachment to specific outcomes. The oak tree doesn't have a 5-year plan for optimal growth. It responds intelligently to whatever conditions arise: drought, flood, storm, sunshine. Its plan is to remain deeply rooted while staying adaptable to changing circumstances. Perhaps the perfect financial plan is less about predicting the future and more about building resilience for whatever future actually emerges. This might mean having savings not because we know exactly what emergency will arise, but because we know that unexpected situations are a natural part of life. It might mean diversifying investments not because we can predict which sectors will perform best, but because we understand that concentration increases vulnerability. The perfect plan might be the one that acknowledges its own imperfection. There is a quality of financial peace that has nothing to do with having everything figured out. It emerges from a willingness to prepare reasonably while remaining unattached to specific outcomes. It comes from building resilience rather than trying to eliminate uncertainty. This peace does not depend on perfect calculations or comprehensive scenarios. It arises from a different source entirely, from recognizing that our fundamental well-being does not depend on external circumstances unfolding according to our projections. The person who discovers this peace may still engage in financial planning, but the relationship changes completely. Planning becomes a practical tool rather than an attempt to control the future. Budgets become guidelines rather than rigid commandments. Financial goals become preferences rather than requirements for happiness. When reality deviates from the plan, as it inevitably will, there is no crisis of identity or security. The plan adjusts to reality rather than expecting reality to conform to the plan. In the space between rigid planning and careless improvisation, something more balanced emerges. A way of preparing for the future that neither tries to control it completely nor ignores it entirely. Can we plan without being enslaved by our plans? Can we prepare for the future while remaining present to what is? Can we build financial security while recognizing that ultimate security comes from our ability to respond wisely to whatever actually occurs? What is this that needs no perfect plan to be at peace? This security that adapts to any circumstance, this wisdom that prepares without attachment to specific outcomes,